Florida's parental rights and education bill, dubbed by critics as the Don't Say Gay bill, will officially go into effect tomorrow as schools around the state start to prepare for the new school year. And it's not just Florida, as similar legislation has gained steam across the country. So tonight, ABC's Reena Roy takes a look at the laws and how some LGBTQ advocates are pushing back.
As Pride Month comes to a close, outrage remains over what critics call Don't Say Gay bills, as more lawmakers support legislation around the country.
We're going to make sure that parents are able to send their kid to kindergarten without having some of this stuff injected into their school curriculum.
Every single day that this law is on the books, it hurts LGBTQ people. It hurts LGBTQ youth who are now not going to be able to talk about who they really are at school.
In nearly 40 states, lawmakers have come up with more than 200 measures that target LGBTQ plus children and their parents, and nearly 24 of them are still working their way through the state houses of America.
Tell Florida lawmakers to stop policing our education.
We all know that these lawmakers do not care. They do not care that they are harming children. You discuss it in a child-friendly manner, like explain that not everyone has a mom and dad. There are people that have two moms. There are people that have two dads.
Alexander Cisco, a trans man, is 21 years old now. He says support in the classroom is crucial for mental health, support he wishes he had.
When I was 17 years old, I did not even imagine myself making it to 18. I truly could not see a future for myself at all. It was just really hard not having my body match who I was.
He says he spent much of those teenage years in and out of psychiatric wards in his home state of California, growing up in the foster care system.
Really bad mental health problems that were going on. I was very suicidal at that point in my life.
Queer teenagers are 4 times more likely to attempt suicide, according to the Centers for Disease Control. Almost a quarter of queer high school students surveyed report attempting suicide in the past year. Alexander says he believes having a place like school to feel safe would help.
Would have saved me a lot of confusion and a lot of self-hatred and wondering, like, is something wrong with me? Like, am I the only one that is feeling this way? Because no one else ever talks about feeling this way.
Advocates are now fighting back against these legislative efforts, saying it further stigmatizes that dialogue for an already marginalized community.
We're not going to allow these legislators to silence our history and to regress our rights and hold up these systems of oppression. We're going to dismantle them, and we're going to have liberation.
Those who support the classroom bans argue it's about parental rights, not discrimination.
We believe that we are helping to safeguard their innocence, their childhood innocence is important, and we support those efforts by lawmakers.
In Alabama, Governor Kay Ivey recently approved a law now tied up in court that could make it a felony for medical professionals to provide gender-affirming care to transgender children under the age of 19.
We need to protect our young people. And if the good Lord makes you a boy when you're born, you're born. If the good Lord makes you a girl when you're born, you're a girl.
Transgender teen Marco Cole began his medical transition in Alabama this year before the governor approved that law.
It's not a matter of protecting kids, it's a matter of discriminating against trans kids.
The governor also requiring students to use bathrooms and locker rooms based on their sex at birth rather than the gender they identify with.
The whole bathroom issue is very akin to like walking into the wrong classroom. Like everyone's looking at you, everyone's wondering why you're in here, what you're doing in here, and like the shame of having to walk out and go to the right classroom.
Feeling ostracized, Marco turned to the Magic City Acceptance Center in Birmingham for support. It offers counseling, health and wellness workshops, and even schooling.
This place is just a godsend to us trans youth, and to have this in a state like Alabama of all places.
When folks have access to spaces that affirm who they are and their gender, we know that it matters because it is life-saving.
Alexander didn't have that kind of support, saying he was forced to seek help away from home. buying a one-way bus ticket from California to New York City.
I arrived here in the middle of February wearing board shorts, flip-flops, and 2 hoodies at 4 a.m. and had no resources whatsoever. I didn't know what to do. I kind of had a panic attack in the middle of Times Square.
After a stay at the hospital, he was referred to the Lifeline Center in Manhattan, the nation's largest LGBTQ+ community center, providing housing, food, healthcare, education, and employment opportunities.
It gave me a lot of hope.
President Alex Roque paints a grim picture for queer kids who fall through the cracks.
It's ugly, and young people are forced out into the streets, sometimes violently kicked out of their homes.
Marco is planning to stay in Alabama for that very reason.
Me leaving isn't going to make it any better for those who can't. I'd do better to stay here and help those who need help.
And for those who may be struggling, Alexander has this message.
I know sometimes you get really tired of people saying it gets better, especially when it doesn't feel like it, but it will. And you just have to repeat that to yourself all the time, and you will be happy one day.
Our thanks to Reena Roy for that. And if you or someone you know is struggling with thoughts of suicide, you can call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-8255.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.